and welcome to another edition of Mentoring Matters on Location. I'm your host, Mark Thompson, coordinator for the Wycomico Mentoring Project, and we're here in the beautiful studios of PAC 14, and we're here with my special guest, Ms. Taja Martin. Welcome, Taja, to our program.
Thank you for having me.
This is incredible. In fact, today, I was waiting for this day to interview you for a long time. In fact, I wore my happy tie. Because it's been an amazing ride that we've seen with you here in Wycomico County Schools, and now you moved on to Shore Up. But I was thinking, let's talk to our viewers for a moment. How do we even meet? How do we meet?
So when I relocated here in the summer of 2018, I heard about choices. I'm originally from Salisbury, so I never heard about choices before, and that's my focus was at-risk youth. So I called the Board of Education and I just asked for any volunteering opportunities at Choices, and they immediately referred me to you, and so that's how we met.
Incredible. And I want to tell our viewers out there, if you want to be a mentor or work with the Wycomico Mentoring Project, that's all you have to do is just call, ask for Mark Thompson, and we'll get you signed up. But something with Taja, and when you came on board working with us, I have to say that you are tremendous working with the Wycomico Mentoring Project. You brought so much excitement and joy. I still remember. You remember our meeting we had when you put on, what was it,
Butterfly wings, yes.
What was that about? What was that about?
It was during Halloween time, so I was the mentor butterfly, social butterfly.
Social butterfly. And I tell you, you really just brought some energy, more energy into our mentoring program. But then you got promoted and moved on to Shore Up. And what do you do at Shore Up now?
So at Shore Up, I'm a project director on the family project assignment. And basically what we do is we assess the whole household. We start with Head Start families. And instead of just servicing that child entering into Head Start, we're looking at the family as a whole. So we work with a smaller population of families, but the focus is to push the whole household towards self-sufficiency.
Wow, that's incredible. I know you're going to do well there.
Thank you.
But we're here talking about mentoring, and you have this program that you started to implement while you were with me at the Wycomico Mentoring Project. And even when you left, you continued this program, and it was called, I like this term, FAB.
Yeah.
So when you say FAB, what is FAB?
So FAB stands for Finding Authentic Beauty.
Finding Authentic Beauty.
Yes.
And it was incredible how you did this. When you came up with that name, I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Tell me that story about how you came up with that name, FAB.
So the name FAB stands for Finding Authentic Beauty, but personally I came up with the name because it's the initials of my oldest brother, who is one of my biggest supporters in my life. His name is Frank Aaron Brown, and he always taught me just to be authentic. He was a role model of how a man should treat a woman, and growing up in a single parent household, he was the head of the house, and so he just always was a great example. So that is the true definition of FAB for me, and so I kind of dedicated that because I'm constantly finding my authentic beauty and helping other young ladies find theirs.
Wow. And that goes right back into mentoring. So your brother Frank was like your mentor.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question talking about mentoring. Why do you think it's important to have a mentor in your life?
Well, first and foremost, mentoring definitely matters. It's a key component. I believe that mentoring creates an opportunity for that connection, for the mentor to be able to be as transparent as possible to help the youth, just someone they can trust and build a rapport with. The school system sometimes it kind of fails a little bit because they're so packed. They have a number of students in one classroom, or in the hallway you can't get every student. There's some students who aren't as engaged as others, or who won't open up as quickly. So a mentor is a person who's dedicated to that connection and that to build that rapport and to be transparent, so that that youth can then confide in them and build their confidence level.
Wow, you said a mouthful on that one. When you look at being a mentor, and even in your program, Find Your Authentic Beauty, I know that you said you studied abroad, you went abroad. Did you see any differences of youth overseas compared to here in America? And where did you go anyway?
So I went to Melbourne, Australia. So the
Wow.
land down under.
Wow.
And it was an amazing experience. As far as youth, I can say I've worked with a lot of different agencies while in my time in Australia. The one agency that stood out the most to me was called Reach. And I did see a little difference only because the country as a whole is a little bit more progressive. And so it seemed as if, like mental health, that wasn't something that was a hidden conversation. It was very open because mental health is real. And so it allowed the youth to feel more comfortable. So there were a lot of sessions ran where the youth were doing hands-on things, and like it was really student and youth driven. The adults really didn't have to force a conversation. The conversation was ready to develop as soon as the youth walked in and programming started. So I would say that was a little different than what I've experienced here in the States. It seems like we got to kind of push it to have the conversation, but there's a very youth driven.
Let me ask you, you said youth driven. I've noticed how you have a great connection with the young ladies.
Yes.
Did that come naturally, or did you have to work to get them to trust you?
Well, I definitely had to put in a lot of work. I would say that because I did self-recruitment per se, so before I started, I would visit at lunchtime, and I would just walk around and talk to random girls and kind of see who they were, get their names, and just be very informal. That helped a lot because then they see me as a person and not just with a title. So I enjoyed that part, but it did take some work because I had to get them to trust me and to know that I'm consistent. That's one thing that lacks too, is if you're not consistent, it's hard for a youth to trust a lack of consistency.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good point. You said during lunchtime, and we try to tell our mentors, just come in during lunch and just walk around.
Absolutely.
And just talk. When you were just walking around, again, you said you had to kind of get them to trust you. How often did you go to the schools to build that trust?
So I was there about 2 or 3 days out of every week. I carved out some time. And I was working with the mentoring project, so it was a lot easier at that time because I kind of went to different schools. But I made it my business to go about 2 to 3 times a week and just be consistent on every lunch schedule. So I didn't just go to one lunch schedule. I went to all 3 lunch shifts so that I could talk to random girls, but be consistent.
Yeah. And I see that you're doing that. In fact, I think you have somebody volunteering with you. How did you recruit volunteers to come to you?
Well, I talked to you about it too.
Okay.
There was already a teacher that we were working with the mentoring project at Salisbury University, Miss Terraini.
Yeah,
yes.
Terraini, Mel.
Mel, yeah. And so I went to one of her classes while they were presenting their experience in being at James and Bennett. And at that time, I had told her about the opportunity that I was getting ready to pilot at Y High, and if she had any female students who were interested, just to let me know. And she followed back up with me, and then we kind of built that connection. So I was able to have one intern that was full, like the whole time through this last semester, Miss Erica Fitch. And then I also had 3 students who came in to do a student project.
Yeah, I almost forgot all about that when we went to Mel's class.
Yep.
And I just want to say a good shout out to Salisbury University, Melanie Trineri. Thank you for your students volunteering and coming into our schools as mentors. And again, I want to give a plug right now, shameless plug. Please, if you want to be a mentor, even though the school's year is almost over, just contact me. Contact Mark Thompson at Wycomico County Public Schools. Ask for me. They'll get you connected, and you can sign up to be a mentor just like how Taja. So let me ask you, through your program and working with these young ladies, what do you see as some of the barriers that these young ladies are facing or issues that they're facing, if you can share, that they need you to be there? Because I'm trying to let the community know that young people really do need adults in their life.
Absolutely. I would say one of the main barriers that I have noticed here with the youth especially in the young women that I work with, there's a lot of lack of confidence. There's a lot of hate, and there's a lot of like jealousy in between females. Instead of girls bringing each other up, they seem to tear each other down. And so there's one thing that Fab really, really likes to emphasize is we build every girl up. So, and we work together. So it's teamwork. So we always say teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely. And so those are the biggest things. And then the confidence building is huge. I believe there's a lack of personal development. So Fab offers those opportunities for personal development. I wholly believe in personal development is key, because if you don't get it personally, nothing else follows. So you have to kind of feed your inner self. So.
Yeah. You know, with all that's happening, I don't know, do you see what's going on in the society that's causing our young people to lack confidence in themselves?
I would just say there's lack of leadership, role models. There's not enough adults who are willing to kind of roll their sleeves up, and it takes a whole village to raise one child.
Sure does.
So it's a lack of leadership.
Wow. And again, another plug. That's why we need you so much. It's so critical that if you're watching this show episode, sign up to be a mentor. We need you. Let me ask you this question. You did this project, which I thought was phenomenal. Something about a box.
Yeah.
Can you explain? They wrote something on this box. Can you explain that?
Right. So there was a campaign by Always, and that's the feminine products.
Okay.
So there was a campaign by Always, and it was called Like a Girl. And so I showed the girls at Y High the video clip. And basically the girls wrote on a box any barrier that they were faced with. And the campaign allowed the girls to destroy the box so that they would basically be overcoming their barriers. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best success getting boxes. So we used balloons, and we used paper and all different type of things that the girls could write on their barriers. And we did the whole clip, and we had a couple girls discuss what they wrote on either their balloon or their sheet of paper. And all together, collectively, we destroyed the barriers.
Wow.
So it was more of a hands-on thing, so they could see it hands-on that it's past possible to overcome your barriers.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. And again, we're interviewing Taja Martin. She's the founder, coordinator. She's the one with Fab. It's Finding Your Authentic Beauty. It's a part of a mentoring program that she runs herself. She runs it through Wacomico County Public Schools, and she also runs it. We run an after school program, don't you?
Yes.
And she works at Shore Up with a wonderful program. So once again, we're looking for more volunteers to come on in to help us. Let me ask you, with the girls, I saw that it was so emotional. It seemed as they had to write down those things that they had to overcome.
Absolutely.
And do you have a story you can tell about one special moment that you saw that somebody really released everything?
Absolutely. And it also shows in some video clips that we'll show. I did have one young lady who, her biggest one was forgiveness. And we all know that that's a major piece. And so she wrote forgiveness on her balloon. And after she released it, after listening and doing some meditation and leading up to this event, they wrote in their journals, daily for programming. And we talked about, I just wanted them to write it out. It didn't have to be grammatically correct. I just wanted them to write out how they were feeling. After that experience of her releasing it, you'll see in the film that she was so excited. She was just like, I'm excited, So, and I can tell, and even having conversations with her afterwards, she's doing a really good job as of self-reflection, and I just seen a lot of growth within that one particular girl.
Wow. It's incredible, the work that you've been doing. And I've witnessed it when they came to our W. Du Bois Honor Society induction program at James M. Bennett.
Yes.
The mayor was invited. How did they feel seeing the mayor for the first time?
They were ecstatic. They enjoyed it. They couldn't believe that it was possible. And thank you again, Mark, for the opportunity, because exposure is key. So they enjoyed it. We loved being able to get a picture with the mayor. And now they're back at school saying, we're the only after school program that has met the mayor. So they're really excited about that.
Wow, and exposing young people, and that's what it's about. As mentors coming in, you're giving your talents and you're sharing and you're passing on your gifts to young people, and they really need it. So once again, join up to be a mentor. Let me ask you, there's another part that I was just blown away by, something called Raise the Volume. Explain this Raise the Volume.
Yeah, so raise the volume. If you are on social media, the big thing on social media is hashtags. Everyone does hashtags now. So I kind of implemented the hashtag RTV, which stands for Raise the Volume. Raise the Volume is basically something catchy to be able to get the attention and build the awareness of continuing the conversation. So we take conflicts and we turn them into courageous conversations. So first we hold the conversation within sessions within the group, and then we encourage for the girls to hashtag on social media to then create the conversation outside of school in their communities or with their peers. And so the girls always say they had an opportunity to raise the volume.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
What can you explain? What kind of hashtag things have they had Raise the Volume?
So we have one that's called hashtag lit, and
Lit.
it stands for LIT, but we have it as leaders in training. And so it's cool when you see a girl post something on Twitter or something that says, I enjoyed lit. And a friend says, hey, what was that? And she says, leaders in training. And this is what we talk about. We talk about personal development and confidence building. And she now that girl has the courage to, again, raise the volume with her peers and kind of bring awareness of some topics that's going on in FAB. And it's also a recruitment tool to help this program be student driven. So the girls bring in the crowd. So it's amazing. It's an amazing concept. We have another one called Boss. And we teach the girls how to be a boss, which means how to balance out stressful situations. And so it's really cool. That one is a really good one because the girls are very, very involved with strategies and the way we can balance out. And even as adults, we have to learn how to work-life balance. So there are lessons that are lifetime key components.
Wow. So lit, boss. I guess for my generation, we're not sure what you're talking about. What do you say to adults? Because I hear this all the time. Adults saying, well, I don't know if I could be a mentor. I don't know if I can help because I don't really engage. I don't know what to say to young people. What do you say to the older generation about working with kids?
I would honestly say to an older generation, just be present. Listen not to hear, but listen to understand.
Wow.
If you take time and you're consistent, it'll come back to you. Really, honestly, they're always revolving. So I'm sure that there's something that a youth says that will bring back, okay, I'm familiar with that. But consistency and listen to understand are key components. And we also thank Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated because they have come in, they've partnered with FAB, and they have definitely taken the time out to just be consistent and be present. And so it's all ranges, all different ages of women within the sorority. And some women, they don't understand the slang, but when they're around and they're consistent, it makes sense.
Wow. I was going to mention that. I want to make sure I got their names right.
Yes.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I said that right, just for the AKA Incorporated. It was tremendous. We did a training, and again, we can do training for any group. Just let me know. Call me over at Wycomico County Public Schools, and I'll come to your group to train you to be a mentor to help in a program such as Taja's. And I remember training about 40 to 50 of the women. So again, what do you think that, again, we hear this all the time, what can the older generation share or bring to a group like yours?
I think that the older generation, one, can bring wisdom,
Mm.
as long as they're not as judgmental.
Ah,
So if we just be open minded, just be consistent, and just listen to understand.
wow. So not judgmental, listen to understand, and just share our wisdom.
Yep.
And that's important because sometimes I know I hear a lot of people say, "Well, I can't do it. I can't volunteer." How would you use volunteers in your group?
Absolutely. So I would definitely use volunteers in my group. If it's even helping just, with passing things out or with hands-on projects. I know this upcoming year we'll be doing a lot of community service projects. So outside in the community, hopefully helping with the food
Okay, food.
drive and things like that. So just having more adults on hand to kind of assist with the transitioning and kind of helping, and then having those conversations while we're out and about within the community. Those are the most valuable moments.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you really don't want to push the older generation off then?
Absolutely. I welcome. Yes.
That is good to hear because
Yes.
sometimes again when we're doing mentoring we feel as though there's nothing to offer, but they do, as you're saying, they have something to offer.
Absolutely.
Now you're talking about exposing them to different things. I know they went down to the Wycomico County Board of Ed and they sat at the Board of Ed desk.
Yes.
And I saw the pride in them while they were sitting there.
Absolutely.
What did you see from the beginning of your program to like end of the summer? What kind of transitions or growth did you see in your young ladies?
Absolutely. Well, I would definitely say the confidence level has definitely increased, which is amazing to see. I have a few girls who have been there since day one, and so I've really taken the time out to really kind of analyze the development. And I've noticed where some girls were very quiet at the beginning, really didn't have much to say during conversation. They're the ones now that come in and start the sign-up sheets, sign in. They start the conversation. They're raising the volume. I hear so many teachers at my comical high school, and they're like, they talk about FAB all day long. The guidance counselors, I'm really, really grateful for the administration. They're very supportive of FAB. And so you just see the girls are like, they're ready for the new year to start. They've talked about recruitment. They've talked about how we can just expand. So.
Well, and that leads me to my next question. So where do you see FAB for next school year? I'm not sure if you're doing anything during the summer, but next school year, where do you see this program growing?
Well, definitely next school year, we see it being focusing a lot more on getting them involved to be leaders within their school. So helping the students transition a student government association or captains in their sports teams, or if there's any committees at school that they can join. Just trying to bridge the gap for student involvement, and then also just being very active in their community and just trying to train community involvement and outreach at a young age, because if they get it in high school and then moving on into college, it's going to be really good exposure.
Wow. And I want to do as much as we can for you. So if we can do recruitment, what type of volunteers or what are you looking for the community to step up to do for you?
Well, I'm definitely looking for women in the community to help, men in the community who would mind helping with community service projects, just anyone who's willing to come along and help where they can. I know this summer we'll probably do a few meet and greets so that people can kind of know who FAB is and what the plan is for next year. So then we can have like some sign-ups for community service. So just definitely taking the time out this summer to kind of form maybe like a planning advisory committee. So be on the lookout for that. We're on Facebook. FAB is on Facebook. So we'll be sending things out.
Wow. If somebody wanted to go on Facebook, how would they see your activities?
So if they would want to go on Facebook, they would just search FAB, and that's F as in Frank, A-B, and it's FAB Unapologetically, and it pops right up.
Wow. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I know when you grew up here in Salisbury?
Yes.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Wacomico High School.
You went to Wacomico, the tribe.
So I am giving back to the tribe. So
That's amazing, and that's so important. Young people coming back to Salisbury,
right,
and being a leader. And you just don't talk it, but you walk the talk, and
right.
you're a leader. What again for people that want to get involved? How will they reach you, or do they go through me at the Wacomico Mentoring? What's the best way?
The best way would definitely be they could either go through you through Wacomico Mentoring, and you can just kind of feed it that way. Or if they're computer and social media savvy, they could find us on Facebook. Again, it's Fab Unapologetically, and they can kind of go through that route. It would be easier going through you just because every mentor within the district would have to fill out the application, things like that, so they can do that process. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And again, when we talk about Wacomico Mentoring Project, we're looking for you to come on in and volunteer. You can reach me at Wacomico Mentoring Project. Call me at 410-677-4536. Again, that's 410-677-4536. My email, mthompso@wcboe.org. Again, we'll put all this on the screen. But if you want to be part of the Wacomico Mentoring Project, we need you to sign up to help our young people, to help with Taja's program. We'll close with this. When you look at at FAB and how you were brought up,
right?
What really gets you motivated to do something like this?
Honestly, I just want to be able to create a safe space that I didn't have when I was growing up. It wasn't a lot of safe spaces at school or in my neighborhood. And as I said previously, I grew up in a single parent home. So with that being said, my mother always had to work to provide for her family. And so it would have been a lot helpful if there were more safe spaces, more adults who were good role models. And I remember, and I tell this story every time I tell it to the girls, when I was in my senior year of high school, I was pregnant with my son, and the guidance counselor told me that I was dreaming too big, wanting to go to a university. She thought that I could just be more successful if I just went to a community college and just got a decent job, because she knew I was getting ready to walk into motherhood. But I knew that wasn't the plan for me. And so I still continued to push. Of course, it was challenging. But I'm a graduate of the Ohio State University with the study abroad experience, at the same time being a mother. And so I just want to be able to now encourage every girl, no matter the situation or the circumstance, and let them know it's past possible.
Wow. I am so proud of you. You have done tremendous, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the future and growing this. Again, it's very easy to jump on board, to be as enthusiastic as Taja is, and working with mentors in our community. Well, I want to thank you, Taja, for coming to our Wacomico Mentoring Matters on location here at PAC 14, and we look forward to see great things from you.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. And again, I look forward to the upcoming years, and I can't wait to see the growth for FAB in Wacomico County.
All right.
Thanks.
Let's just be a positive influence in our community. Once again, this is Mark Thompson, host of Wacomico Mentoring Matters on location here at PAC 14. And we want to tell you, mentoring makes a difference.